Fastnet Rock will be represented in the New Zealand stallion ranks in the South Island, with a son standing at Berkley Stud. I caught up with the team at Berkley to discuss the arrival of Highly Recommended. A Group 2 winning son of Fastnet Rock standing in the South Island. How was the deal brokered to get Highly Recommended to New Zealand, Edwina?
The horse was first brought to our attention by Brett Howard from Randwick Bloodstock, and was through Brett and New Zealand Bloodstock that we were able to purchase the horse.
Were you looking actively for a new sire to join your lineup here at Berkley Stud, and what were you looking for?
We were looking for a sire. We had Coach Choice, who'd been doing a super job for us, and a young horse as well, Edenwald. But we felt that we needed a new horse, some fresh blood, and we were actively looking for a son of Fastnet Rock.
What was it that Highly Recommended had that sealed the deal for you?
Well, firstly, he was a son of Fastnet Rock, from a beautiful pedigree, but he was a precocious 2-year-old. He won his first trial as a 2-year-old, and he won on debut at 2 at Flemington, and then went on and won a Group 2 race. So he had performance and pedigree, and being by the sire of the time, we thought he would be a wonderful horse for us.
Edwina, let's talk about his pedigree. His page is full of black type. Fastnet Rock from Blue Hen Mare, suggestive. What stands out?
Well, she has been a wonderful producer. She was owned by the Ramsays of Tauranga Farm, and because they bred Highly Recommended. She's had 9 foals to race for 8 winners. She's had 5 individual black type horses. 3 of them are group winners, 3 stakes winners. She's also had 2 of her daughters have gone on and also left black type. She's left the Group 1 winner, Sky Cuddle, which was trained by Peter Moody, and stakes winner Hint, Highly Recommended, who of course is a Group 2 winner, and Highly Recommended's full brother, who is a stakes winner and ran last year in the Group 1, 4th in the Group 1 Newmarket and the Oakley Plate Group 1, and we're hoping that he might actually win a group race this year. And Highly Recommended's half brother, the last foal out of Suggested, made over 600,000 at the last sale. So, but she's gone now. But she's an amazing mare, and she continually left type and ability.
As a racehorse, Highly Recommended showed huge ability as a 2-year-old, winning on debut, as you mentioned, at Flemington over 1,000 metres. He went on to claim Group 2 success. In your mind, what was his standout performance?
I think it's nice to see the 2-year-old form. I think people would like to see some early maturity in their stallions. He was a very good spring 3-year-old, placing in group races in the best of company, group and listed races. So he was in top shelf company, and then he went on and won the Alistair Clark Group 2 in the autumn of his 3-year-old year. Peter Moody said to us, he said this horse had a lot more ability than we even saw from his results. So when you look at his record, like his group place from 1,200 up to 1,600, and then won the Group 2 Alistair Clark Stakes, he was a serious racehorse in top company. So we have got no doubt about his ability. Peter Moody, in his praise for the horse, has actually backed it up and sent a mare to him. So that was fantastic when in walked a lovely Cape Cross mare from Peter Moody.
Highly Recommended was a $235,000 purchase from the English-Australian Easter sales back in 2010. What do you think his attraction will be to our New Zealand breeders?
Well, firstly, as we've mentioned, the Fastnet Rock sire line, which is just unbelievable, the results that he's achieving. As a physical type, it wouldn't matter what he was by, people will love him. He's 16-1, he's a muscle on muscle, he's a beautifully boned horse with a lovely shoulder. And temperament to die for. Absolutely amazing temperament, and if he passes half of that on to his progeny, we'll be over the moon. And then just to bless it off is that he's got a lovely bottom line, beautiful pedigree.
You've certainly impressed upon us his great attitude and temperament. How well has he settled in here at Berkley since he arrived?
Well, just because of his temperament, he walked off the truck and said, well, where am I? And just casually walked to his paddock, and he's really never put a foot wrong. He's absolutely been amazing. He eats well, he never walks the fences, he serves his mares with Sometimes he's a little bit boyish and might get two legs over one side sometimes, but always does the job. You know, he's fantastic. So he's a real pleasure to have around.
How much interest has there been since he was announced?
Actually, it was amazing. When we first announced him, it was a bit quiet for a few days, and we thought, oh no, we've done the wrong thing. And the news started to spread, and everyone that saw him went away saying, I just love this horse, I love this horse. And then it's been almost daily we're getting calls. And people aren't booking one mare, they're booking in 2 or 3. It's been absolutely fantastic. And a lot of mares from the North Island as well.
His father stands for an Australasian high, $275,000 Australian. Highly Recommended starts out at 4,000 Kiwi. How was that established?
Again, we had to look at value for money. I mean, nowadays, just with the economy, whether people are going to go and buy a car or anything, they want value for money. And we thought at that fee, they're getting to a very nice horse, and he's fresh off the block, and they'll have a nice yearling to market. And the return won't have to be too enormous for them to feel like they've got something back.
We return to Berkley Stud later this season to profile Coates Choice, a stallion who's been doing a stellar job in the South Island. It's now time for the Dunstan Horse Feeds Pedigree of the Week.
Solzhenitsyn continues Kiwi Bred's sequence of rags to riches tales of Group 1 breeding success. Following the similarly moderately bred Group 1 performer's final touch and ransomed, Solzhenitsyn has far outgrown his modest roots to become easily the best performer in his family, scoring his second Group 1 2-rack handicap win at Caulfield in recent weeks. Bred by the Grandview Lodge Syndicate, Solzhenitsyn provided the Holmes family with a tremendous thrill when he claimed his first 2-rack win, and to double up the next year added the icing to an already most satisfying cake. By former Grandview Lodge sire St Petersburg, Solzhenitsyn's dam Tri-Victories days in the broodmare paddock were short-lived. She only had one foal before she died in 2010, and that was Solzhenitsyn, who fetched $10,000 at Caracas National Weanling Sale, knocked down to Auckland bloodstock agent Paul Willits. Having taken in other owners, Willits sent Solzhenitsyn to Te Awamutu trainer Richard Otto, where he won 3 races before he was sent to Brisbane trainer Richard Heathcote, who has trained him since. Solzhenitsyn's family has few stars. Among the stakes performers are Group 3 Gosford Cup winner Dabas and Group 3 Waikato Guineas placed Anden. But by comparison, Solzhenitsyn casts a fairly dark shadow, all the while radiating luminant memories for the Holmeses. This week's Pedigree of the Week is brought to you by Dunstan Horse Feeds.
That brings to a close another edition of Kiwi Bred. The show now takes a break for a couple of weeks. We'll return to air on November the 13th to preview the New Zealand Bloodstock Ready to Run sales. See you all then.